Alright, what is up everybody? We're back again with another Noob News, this time for RD2L Eastern Monday Week 2 recap. This week's gonna be a little bit different. After getting some feedback, we're gonna just slow things down. We're gonna just take it nice and easy. We're gonna be a little more in-depth, but cut out a little bit, cut back on the bullshit, I guess, as I think it was BBTM recommended. So here we go. I'm just gonna try to jump right into it. The first game I'm gonna look at is gonna be between Phantasmal's Valar Dotaris, or however the fuck it's supposed to be pronounced, and Chive's Studious Bassoons. Alright, here we are. This is going to be the very beginning of the clip there's a couple of clips in tandem that I want to talk about. Ooh, I just hit my mic. There's a couple clips in tandem that I want to talk about. The first being, this is the first high ground push. As you see, Phantasmal's team, Valor, is pretty far ahead. 24 minutes into the game, they got a 6k golden net worth lead. Just net worth lead, I should say, sorry. Here's the XP lead, so we're pretty even. And we'll kind of give a little recap before we go into this this clip here. So we've got an Aegis on, I know it's the picture of Terpcasl, but it's Weaver. We've got an Aegis and a Deso on Weaver. A Lincoln's being worked on. Jakiro's just got a Yules, which is pretty good. Terpcasl has used his Bloodstone recently to deny himself. He has a Yule Scepter Divinity, and he's working on a Heaven's Halberd with just brown boots and 17 wand charges, which is important to note. Down here, bringing up the back line, staying way back, is we have Lich here, who has just a mech and a few wards, and we have Phantasmal on Viper with a Shadowblade and Dragonlance, presumably about to pick up some TPs here at the shop. Yeah, that's exactly what he does. Okay, so for the other team, we've got Ursa over here. Turbo playing Ursa's just got Blink, Helmet Dominator, and I believe something coming out on the Courier, that's a ward. There's the Courier, which is his Skull Basher. So he's just about to get his Skull Basher. Got Phase Boots, Blink, and Helmet Dominator, and a PMS. Jump over here, we've got Chipmunk's Avenge, just a standard slot 5, Smoke, Dust, Arcane Boots, and some wards. Chives on the Ember Spirit, Blade Mail, BOT's Maelstrom, the Octarine Core queued up. And then we have Monkey King up here in the trees with the Basher and Phase Boots. Alright, so what prompted this push here is the Radiant was able to pick off both Monkey King and Vengeful Spirit down here in their jungle, which opened up some space, allowed them to push up for this high ground that we're about to see, this little skirmish right here. I'm gonna play this real slow so we can actually talk about it. And I will pause it throughout to point out some things. But there's really one thing in particular I want to point out. So first I want to point out, notice the Monkey King's positioning. This is actually really, really big for Dire, because if you actually, let's jump that back a little bit because it's about to start. If you look at this, what is this? If you look at Dire's Fog, because of where Monkey King is positioned, they see everything. They even see the Jakiro back here on the steps. The Jakiro and the Lich they see back here. All because of the Monkey King. And I guess the ward has a little bit of fog there, so it's really just the Monkey King's positioning that's allowing them to do that. Whereas if you look at Radiant, Radiant doesn't know the Monkey King's there. They don't really know who all's up here. They can just assume everyone, but that's it. And you have just Venge and Abaddon just trying to, get some chip damage out here on this Weaver with the Aegis, to just slowly burn it down. I'll speed this up a little bit. Ember does come out here with a Searing Chains, and which prompts a little bit of reaction from both teams. Lich is going to end up going down to this Ursa here, which is very, very huge. I'm going to pause that. Being able to take out the Lich before the fight even starts is so important for Dire's high ground defense, because once Monkey King ults, that's really all they have. And the whole point of Monkey King ulting is trying your best to keep the enemy team there, and trying, really, that involves you being grouped up as well. So if you have a Lich ult bouncing around that really throws a monkey wrench into the plans, it makes it much harder to do some crowd control because you yourself are being controlled. So being able to take one of those big AoE ults out of the game is huge for Dire right here. I'll play it a little bit forward. Abaddon's ult gets popped. Weaver's just trying to throw Deso hits out, and this is another big play here. The placement of this macro pyre is, it's not bad. Wood Jakiro is godly, and I'm not trying to call him bad by any means. It's unfortunate that it's so close to the Abaddon, because Abaddon now with his ult popped, albeit he's got a couple seconds left on it, but that is that's just free health for him. And so we have the Ember Spirit getting caught up with the Yules from the Timbersaw here. He does pop his Blade Mail, and right here, the Monkey King jumping down from these trees right here. The placement of this ultimate is so important and so huge for the Dire, because it forces Weaver is now stuck up here. He doesn't want to walk back into it, and these three are now caught. So you have to either commit going forward or commit going back. Meanwhile, Weaver just gets taken down. Weaver gets taken down because we'll jump back and play it a little bit faster. Weaver gets taken down up here because he gets caught out with the underneath this shrine. He gets chained. He can't do much. He gets chained. He gets bashed because of that fresh basher. And now the rest of the team has to back out, but they're already so low because the Monkey King ult did so much work for them. And just being able to split up that fight was huge. Also right here, this Ember Spirit just barely lands the chains here on both of these heroes. I honestly don't think he was going to get the Timber. I don't think he intended to get Timber. I think he was just going for the, who was that, Jakiro. But really, honestly, just barely caught the Timber on the edge of that, which was really big for them, and really, it starts to bring this graph down a little bit in their favor, which is so important when you have that early push, being able to turn the graph back in your favor. And the second clip I will jump to right now. Okay, here we go. Game's paused because it was a very unfortunate Monkey King disconnect. Let me start that over. Okay, here's the clip that the second clip that I want to talk about. The game is paused. There was an unfortunate Monkey King disconnect, so I'll put the speed up a little bit. But as you can see, we have Ember. Ursa was trying to push this up. They have no idea that this Weaver's here. That hasn't been shown to them yet. I'm gonna pause this here real quick. So you have Ember Spirit nearby, but you have Viper and you have Weaver both here, and you have a couple heroes over here, but they're fairly far out considering where these two heroes are. So if there's a fight that breaks out here, they're not gonna get a whole lot of help. Plus you've got a Lich and the Timbersaw over here, fairly nearby. Not really any new items. Bloodstone's still on cooldown. This is actually fairly soon after that last fight we saw. All we really have is a BKB being worked on here, and that's about it. So we'll play this here. So the pause comes out, and these two start fighting. Jakiro just TPs forward, and you have the Ember throw chains out, and then he just kind of walks away. So really the point of this is Ursa gets picked off, which leads to a little bit of a push. And, oh fuck, there's a replay bug, so you can already see it. But just once again, we have just this unbelievable Monkey King ult. He ults, he drops the stun, and it just immediately splits up the team. And there's not a whole lot you can do once your team gets split up like that. Monkey King almost single-handedly forces Radiant to back off of their high ground push, just like that. And so really, Monkey King, I don't want to give him all the credit, but T-Link does an amazing job in both of these pushes of being able to keep Radiant out of their high ground, saying, no, you're not going to take any of our tier 3s yet. You're gonna have to just back up and farm, and allow us to have space on the map. You're not going to keep us in our base, which is so important in this kind of game where the Radiant has such an early lead. Just 3 minutes ago, they were, you know, almost 7,000 over, and now they're back down to just 2,000, which is definitely doable. So really good work here from T-Link. This is really what I wanted to talk about here in Game 1. There is a clip in Game 2 that I want to talk about, so we will move on to that right now. Alright, here we are with the clip of Game 2 that I want to talk about. This is, I'll play because this is a little bit of far ahead, so that I have a little bit of time to set this up for you. So Rubik here has, it's T-Link on Rubik. He has stolen Static Storm previously. I'll pause it here. So we have Avenge with a smoke and Tranquils, that's it. Lina has her Bloodstone, which is very good. Chives on Lina. Coda on the Sand King, he's just got his Blink Dagger, but hey, you know, 17 minutes he's got a Blink Dagger on the Sand King, that's pretty solid. And then you have your Razor over here with Drums, Dragonlance, nothing crazy, but, you know, enough. It's what Razor needs. On TA, you have Treads and Deso, the infamous Phantasmal TA. We have Defender on the Axe, you know, he's got Blink, Jungle Claw, that's really all he needs is the Blink to be able to make things happen. Cameron's Lich, he's just got Tranquils and Wards, he's a little poor. Rainmaker's Invoker, this was actually a safe lane Invoker, he's got the BOT's Hand of Midas. You also have Woods Disruptor, who's looking like a homeless man right now, just one boot, not even one for both feet. So, right here, oh shit, it already went down, I gotta back it up. Okay, so right here, Dire rotates over, but as you can see, Radiant sees pretty much every hero walk through here at one point or another because of this ward they have. And it does die, but because Radiant know this, they are able to gather up here. And I believe, who has it? They do smoke. I think they have to wait for their Axe, yeah. So Dire did see Axe jungling and they see him walk away, but they didn't see everyone else. They may have seen, they may have seen the Disruptor walk up here with this ward. Yeah, they did see the Disruptor and they saw the Axe moving. So they know Radiant is trying to make movements over here, but they don't know how many. Venge is going to walk up. Radiant did smoke. I'm going to slow this down. So Radiant did smoke up here, and Venge is going to walk towards them. Wood smoke breaks, and he actually doesn't see the Venge at first. He's looking down here, and everyone's like, hey, Wood, there's a Venge there. He goes, oh, right, my bad. Sets up the connect field, and they're able to take out this Venge pretty easily, no chore at all. Here's what I want to talk about. So I talked to Phantasmal, who is a friend of mine, and he claims that he is a player and that he has some pretty godly stun dodges in this fight. So I want to point out a couple things that claim in mind. Right here, Lina throws the Light Strike Array. It lands there. That's where the actual stun lands. Take note of where Phantasmal cuts back. Right there. The stun has landed before he even moves out of the way. Phant, I'm sorry buddy, but you didn't dodge that one. Chives just flat out missed. I will give you this one though. You did dodge that one, good on you, but you did not dodge the Light Strike away. I hate to break it to you. I'll speed this up a little bit. So we have the Sand King, he just comes up. Axe just barely misses the call here. That was actually huge. If Axe had hit that call, Lina wouldn't have been able to keep casting spells and, you know, getting more fiery soul stacks. This fight could have gone completely differently. But instead he misses that call. Lina's able to keep throwing spells. And she's able, you know, just to absolutely annihilate the Disruptor. There's a Lich ult that blows these two up, and you do have the Rubik Static Storm come out, but it's just not enough. Meanwhile, Sand King is able to keep two heroes in the Static Storm, but it's just not going to quite do the trick. However, I will come down here to this part of the fight now. We see a couple of heroes. Rainmaker really wants to kill this Lina, so he tries to throw some spells. Unfortunately, doesn't miss that stun, gets hit by it, and the Dragon Slave just catches Lich on the back end as well. So he's trying to come help his friend, but doesn't maybe doesn't realize or just underestimated Lina, was way too low health, and Lina just gets a triple kill right there. So now it comes down to a man fight between Chives and Phantasmal, and unfortunately for Chives, he did miss yet another light strike array as Lina walked up right here. Or I'm sorry, as TA walked up, he just completely misses this light strike array. If he had hit that, Phantasmal would be dead, but instead Phantasmal was able to meld and get the crit, excuse me, and resulting in an ultra kill for Phantasmal, and not quite securing the rampage for Lina. So I guess to sum up, Phant, you're not as godly as you thought you were, but good effort, A for effort, dude, absolutely. Now I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to go to some new teams entirely, so stick with me. Alright, here we are with the next clip. This is from I believe it's game 2. I'm really not sure. There was only one replay available on DotaBuff that I could find. But it's between Hope's Given the Business and Box's Day Drinking Night Stalkers. I think this is game 2. Again, I think it is. Because I think game 1 I deemed unwatchable just because it was just a bad game. Game 2. Game 2 was a little bit more interesting. It's, an hour and a half long. And I'm going to slow this down a little bit so I can talk about the heroes. We have Scoozer on Abaddon with Hanamitis, Radiance, Ag, Lotus Orb, BOTs, and a Blink. We have Queen of Pain with Bloodthorn, AC, BKB, Octarine Core, Ags in the backpack, Lincolns, and BOTs level 2. We have Lich with Mech, Jim, Glimmer, Arcanes. We have Centaur with 2 hearts, Lotus Orb, Blink, BOTs, and an Ags. And we have Silencer with Refresher, Scythe, Hurricane Pike, BOTs, BKB, Shivas, Hanamitis in the backpack. Now, on to the Dire. We have Gohan with, on the Wraith King, with an Abyssal Blade, BKB, Scythe, Blink, Bloodthorn in the backpack. BOTs level 2, Radiant to the backpack, and a Mjolnir. We have Lina on, I need to pause it now. We have Lina with Aegis, Scythe, Octa, BKB, LinkedIn, find me, Lincoln's, BOTs, level 2, Yule's, Satanic, and a Cheese. We have Darkseer with Greaves, Blink, Ags, Refresher, Pipe, BOTs, level 2, and a Scythe. We have Disruptor with Glimmer, Cheese, Ags, Gem, Force Staff, Arcanes, and a TP. We have Lion with BOTs, 2 Blinks, for whatever reason, Radavetos, Drum, and a wand. Okay. It's Box's Blink because he ran out of spaces. That's what happened. So here they're just talking about, like, can we go out a draw? Okay, so here's what happens. The big thing I want to talk about is similar to the Monkey King clips from earlier. It just turns out into a split up fight, and it really ends up not going well. So you have the Scythe coming out, trying to get some pick off, but I mean, Centaur's so tanky, like it's just rough. Right here is about where the team fight gets to split up. So Gohan kind of tunnel visions on this Queen of Pain here, and now he's got 2 heroes to deal with. Meanwhile, there's a whole fight happening over here. Centaur going on the Lina, going on the Lion. Queen of Pain coming and getting a double kill off of it. Meanwhile, Disruptor's back here just getting annihilated by the Silencer, Darkseer as well, and you have your Wraith King just getting dumpstered right here. Like, it's just turns into a shit show for Dire. We have these. This is 3 fights that I've covered in this video now that just got really split up, and when your fight gets split up, you kind of have to abort. When you're trying to work together as a unit, and then that unit gets separated, it doesn't end well. It's like what's a good analogy? Play-Doh doesn't work because you could separate Play-Doh. Now you have 2 pieces of Play-Doh. But I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, you can't. You have 5 people working together as a unit, and then when you have 2 people, I need to be able to draw. When you have 2 people here getting picked off by your Silencer, you have one person down here trying to 1v2, and then you have two people here getting picked off by the Centaur and the Queen of Pain. That's not even a fight anymore. It's just a massacre. You have to coordinate. You have to stay together as a unit, or you're just not gonna end well. And I think they actually went off of that fight, or if not, it's pretty close. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about there. And on the next clip. Alright, welcome back. We are here with the last clip of the day that I want to talk about. This is from Pablo's PP versus Zordlov's 6 eSports. And as you can see, this game's kind of a stomp. Oh, by the way, I actually forgot to say this. Hope's game was the biggest throw that has happened in RD2L Easter Monday so far. Hope's team, or was it Box's team, excuse me, had, because they were Radiant that game, or Dire that game, they had that 20,000 net worth lead, or about, and after that team fight they lost, so there was a 20k throw. This game, I really just needed a reason to shit on BBTM, because, I mean, if I'm not shitting on BBTM, why am I making these videos? So there's a fight that happens. It's really not that interesting. It's an Alchemist versus a Slark, and E-Rock's pretty bad at this game. No, I like E-Rock. I'm only giving him shit because I actually had a conversation with E-Rock earlier this week about this game. I asked him, you know, because they were pretty behind for a significant portion of this game. I asked him, was there any point where you felt like you couldn't win, or you felt like it was going to be a hard game, like an exceedingly hard game? And he said he didn't really feel that way. Number one, because Slark's really comfortable for him. He's one of his most played. He said he told me he enjoys. I'm actually going to run this back so we can actually watch that fight while I talk, because there's a couple things that I'm going to be saying. I'll play it at half speed so everyone can kind of process what happens, because some of it happens quickly. But anyway, I was talking to E-Rock and said, was there ever a point where you felt like this game was unwinnable, or that it would be exceedingly difficult to win? And he told me no. He said, you know, Slark's very comfortable for me. I enjoy playing Slark. It's a hero that I know my limits on, and I know that Slark scales really well into the late game, especially against an Alch. The whole reason you pick Alchemist is you pick Alchemist as a hero who's going to cap off early. It's a hero that gets really big at about 25-30 minutes, and at that point you just start to siege the enemy team. You know, you're just able to walk into their high ground and take the base. That's the goal. But if you get 6 slotted and you're not able to take the base, it proves to be a very difficult game for the Alchemist team. And because we had Medusa, because we had Coddle, it just wasn't. It was very difficult for them to siege our high ground. It was E-Rock's words. He also said that he tends to be the player that, or at least the core player on this team, that likes to go and kind of man fight, whereas you know, he's essentially the guy that gets picked off. Meanwhile, who's the fucking player? Pablo tends to be the one that's kind of hanging back, playing with the team as kind of a 4-man unit, while E-Rock kind of runs around doing his own thing. He said so it worked out really well in this scenario because I was on a hero that I could just do my own thing with, and Pablo was on a hero that he could play with the team, and just, like, if I get picked off, he can still defend high ground. So it was a really smart draft in that sense. That was the information I got from Pablo, or I'm sorry, from E-Rock, excuse me. So it was very insightful that I actually got to speak with E-Rock for about this game. And he said, Slark actually does really well against Alchemist, especially late game, because Alchemist is a big guy that doesn't die, and Slark can steal stats off of him all day. So, that's really all I wanted to say, except for there's one little thing that's about to happen right here. If you watch the Alchemist, he goes for this Manta dodge, and doesn't even make it close. Just absolutely gets annihilated by his own stun. Which is just more proof that BBTM's the worst player in RD2L, at least for Monday. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This is really all I wanted to say. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. I hope this ended up being a little bit shorter. I obviously haven't edited this video yet. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna try to take some more constructive criticism, try to get this video chopped down a little bit. I am going to include timestamps. I know everyone freaking wants timestamps. And next week I am really going to try to put a PST Sunday video out. Getting a little personal, I am looking for another job in my life right now, so I should have some more time to put into this, at least for right now. So I am going to really try to make a PST Sunday video for a week 3 recap, and of course you are going to have the Easter Monday recap coming out as well. Yeah, that should cover pretty much everything. So like I said, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me some constructive criticism in the comments either on Reddit or on YouTube, and take it easy until next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.